The EV sales slump has officially hit crisis mode for local dealerships. Driven down by missing incentives, glitchy software updates, and massive oversupply, these 9 electric cars are glued to dealer lots, completely unable to find a buyer in 2026. Number 9. Audi Q4 e-tron. Once billed as Audi's accessible entry into the electric world, the Q4 e-tron has turned into a headache dealers quietly dread. Priced from around $50,000, it sits in a brutal no-man's land where buyers expect either genuine luxury or aggressive value, and the Q4 delivers neither convincingly enough to move metal. The problem is competition has simply outrun it. For similar money, shoppers can grab electric SUVs with more range, faster charging, and fresher technology, leaving the Q4 looking dated the moment it rolls onto the lot. Its 82 kilowatt-hour battery and charging figures were respectable a few years ago, but now feel merely average, and average doesn't sell in a segment moving this fast. Dealers report the Q4 lingering in inventory far longer than newer Audi electrics, forcing discounts that eat into already thin margins. Compounding the struggle is brand cannibalization, because Audi's own newer models make the Q4 look like yesterday's news, splitting buyer attention and dragging showroom traffic away from it. Add in the reality that luxury EV shoppers are increasingly cross-shopping brands that offer more prestige or more efficiency per dollar, and the Q4 gets squeezed from every direction. The result is a car that requires heavy incentives just to leave the lot, and for 2026 the pressure is mounting rather than easing. Dealers watching newer, sharper rivals arrive know the Q4 e-tron's clearance problem isn't going away. The Q4 e-tron is a competent car that the market has simply moved past, and moving it now means eating a real financial hit. Number 8. Jeep Grand Wagoneer. The Jeep Grand Wagoneer became a cautionary tale about pricing an American flagship into thin air. When it launched with sticker prices climbing well past 6 figures, dealers watched these enormous, opulent SUVs sit unsold for months as buyers balked at the eye-watering cost. The situation grew so dire that Jeep was forced to slash the 2026 base price by more than $20,000, dropping it to around $64,000 in a desperate bid to jumpstart showroom traffic. That kind of dramatic cut tells the whole story. The vehicles simply weren't moving at the money Jeep originally wanted. Dealers found themselves saddled with expensive inventory that tied up enormous amounts of floor plan cash, and every month a Grand Wagoneer sat unsold, it bled value and financing costs. The problem was never the product itself, which offers genuine luxury and capability, but rather a price that collided head-on with buyers who could get equally prestigious badges for less. Jeep even acknowledged its missteps publicly, rebooting the lineup with simplified trims and lower pricing while planning marketing campaigns specifically designed to lure people back into showrooms. That's a company reacting to a sales crisis, not a success story. Edmunds data shows buyers now paying nearly 5% under sticker with thousands in savings and cash rebates on the table, further proof dealers are dealing aggressively just to clear units. For 2026, the discounting continues, and while lower prices may eventually help, the Grand Wagoneer's reputation as a lot clogger is already cemented. Number 7. Maserati Grecale Folgore. The Maserati Grecale Folgore might be the clearest example of an EV that dealers simply cannot move at anywhere near its asking price. Starting at a staggering $121,000, the all-electric Folgore commands supercar brand money while delivering an EPA range of just 206 to 245 miles, a figure that would embarrass electric SUVs costing a third as much. That combination is poison on a dealer lot. Buyers wealthy enough to consider a 6-figure electric SUV expect either blistering range, cutting-edge technology, or unmistakable exclusivity, and the Folgore struggles to deliver enough of any to justify the premium. The math is brutal. For the same money, shoppers can access longer range, more prestigious, or more technologically advanced electric SUVs from rivals with stronger EV credentials. Maserati itself has acknowledged the slow sales, scrambling to introduce updated all-wheel drive systems meant to squeeze out more range and efficiency in hopes of reviving interest. That's a manufacturer reacting to a product that isn't selling. Dealers stuck with these cars face an especially painful problem because ultra-luxury EVs depreciate viciously, meaning every unsold Folgore is a rapidly shrinking asset sitting under expensive floorplan financing. The niche appeal of the Maserati name only stretches so far when the fundamental value proposition is this weak, and enthusiasts have openly labeled it among the worst value EVs on the market. For 2026, the situation grows more precarious as newer, longer-range luxury EVs flood the segment, making the Folgore's limited range look even more indefensible. Number 6. Ford Mustang Mach-E. The Ford Mustang Mach-E arrived as a bold electric statement, but the 2026 version has become a vehicle dealers increasingly struggle to move without piling on discounts. On paper it looks strong, offering up to 320 miles of range and quick acceleration, yet the reality on dealer lots tells a harsher tale. Inventory listings routinely show thousands of dollars in dealer discounts stacked on top of factory incentives, with individual units advertised at $3,000 to $7,000 off sticker before additional offers even come into play. That level of markdown isn't generosity, it's desperation to clear aging stock. The Mach-E's core problem is that it now sits in one of the most crowded corners of the EV market, surrounded by newer rivals offering more range, faster charging, or lower prices, and the initial novelty of a Mustang-badged electric SUV has long since faded. Buyers who once flocked to it for its fresh styling now have dozens of alternatives, and the Mach-E no longer stands out. Dealers also contend with the reality that electric SUV demand has cooled at exactly the moment supply has swelled, leaving lots overstocked with units that move slowly. Every discount to shift, a Mach-E chips away at already slim electric vehicle margins, and the constant need to advertise savings signals just how difficult these have become to sell. For 2026, with even more competition arriving and buyer enthusiasm softening, the Mach-E faces an uphill battle. Number 5. Audi Q6 e-tron. The Audi Q6 e-tron represents one of the sharpest sales collapses on this entire list, and the numbers are genuinely alarming. Reports indicate Q6 e-tron sales cratered by roughly 90% in the United States during the first quarter, a staggering decline for what was supposed to be Audi's important new electric SUV. Priced from around $65,000, the Q6 e-tron entered a market that has grown deeply skeptical of pricey luxury electric SUVs, and buyers have responded by simply walking away. That kind of freefall leaves dealers holding inventory that isn't turning, and industry chatter suggests corporate is even weighing significant price increases to offset import taxes, a move that would make an already difficult sale even harder. Raising prices on a car that's already collapsing in the market is a recipe for lots full of unsold metal. The Q6 e-tron's troubles stem partly from timing, arriving as luxury EV demand softened, and as buyers increasingly questioned whether premium electric SUVs justify their steep premiums over excellent mainstream alternatives. Compounding the issue, Audi's electric lineup has become confusingly crowded, with overlapping models splitting attention and leaving individual vehicles like the Q6 struggling to establish a clear identity. Dealers face the painful combination of high floorplan costs on expensive inventory and buyers who see little urgency to purchase. For 2026, with tariff-driven pricing pressure looming and competition intensifying, the Q6 e-tron's path to steady sales looks steeper than ever. Number 4. Cadillac Escalade IQ. The Cadillac Escalade IQ is a genuinely impressive machine that has run headfirst into the simplest sales problem of all, an enormous price tag. Starting at $130,000 and climbing well past $150,000 on higher configurations, this electric behemoth asks buyers to spend supercar money on a full-size electric SUV, and that number alone thins the buyer pool to a trickle. Even with a headline-grabbing Cadillac estimated 465 miles of range, the longest of any electric SUV, the Escalade IQ struggles because so few shoppers are willing to commit six figures to an EV, no matter how capable. TrueCar data already shows average transaction prices landing several $1,000s below sticker, clear evidence that dealers are negotiating hard just to close deals. The traditional gas Escalade remains wildly popular and considerably cheaper, meaning Cadillac's own iconic nameplate competes directly against its electric sibling and often wins, leaving IQ units lingering on lots. Buyers loyal to the Escalade badge frequently see no compelling reason to pay a massive premium for the electric version when the familiar gas model delivers the prestige they want for less. Dealers stocking these giants face brutal floor plan costs, as a lot full of $130,000 plus electric SUVs represents an extraordinary amount of tied-up capital that bleeds money the longer it sits. The luxury EV market has also cooled considerably, and ultra-expensive electric flagships are precisely the segment feeling that chill hardest. For 2026, with high interest rates and cautious luxury buyers, the Escalade IQ's staggering price keeps it firmly in the hard-to-sell column despite its undeniable engineering achievement. Number 3. Toyota CHR. The Toyota CHR returns to the United States for 2026, and while its all-electric reinvention sounds promising on paper, it's shaping up to be a tough sell on dealer lots for several converging reasons. Toyota revived the CHR nameplate as a sporty, coupe-styled compact electric SUV boasting 338 horsepower and a brisk 0 to 60 time, expected to land somewhere in the mid-$30,000 range. The trouble is that Toyota, a brand built almost entirely on the reputation of its hybrids and gas vehicles, is asking loyal buyers to embrace a pure EV in a segment where the automaker has limited electric credibility and where skeptical Toyota shoppers often prefer hybrids instead. That brand mismatch creates hesitation right at the showroom door. The original CHR also left a mixed legacy in America before it departed, and reviving a name some buyers remember without enthusiasm adds another hurdle. Compounding matters, the compact electric SUV space is fiercely competitive, packed with established rivals offering proven range and strong value, so a returning nameplate with something to prove faces an uphill climb for attention. The CHR's smaller size and shorter wheelbase, while sporty, also limit its practicality compared to roomier competitors, narrowing its appeal further. Dealers accustomed to moving Toyotas quickly may find this electric outlier lingering as core Toyota customers gravitate toward the hybrids they trust. For 2026, as EV enthusiasm cools and buyers grow choosier, a stylish but unproven electric compact from a brand famous for hybrids risks becoming exactly the kind of vehicle that sits waiting for a buyer who's slow to arrive. Number 2. Mercedes-Benz EQS. The Mercedes-Benz EQS has become the poster child for the luxury EV sales disaster, and the financial carnage is impossible to ignore. This flagship electric sedan has depreciated so violently that some examples have shed over $80,000 in value within just 3 years, a collapse so severe it has spooked buyers and dealers alike. Nobody wants to purchase a vehicle known for hemorrhaging money the moment it leaves the lot. The EQS's troubles run deep, stemming from prices that soared far beyond what buyers were willing to pay for an electric Mercedes, especially one whose styling and value proposition failed to win over the traditional S-Class faithful. The situation grew so dire that Mercedes paused EQ production for the American market and began aggressively slashing prices, with reports of related EQ models seeing cuts as steep as $15,000 to move stagnant inventory. Mercedes is now quietly winding down the entire EQ lineup, pivoting toward new electric versions of its established nameplates because the EQ branding never connected with buyers. For dealers, the EQS is a nightmare on wheels, as its brutal depreciation makes both new and used units extraordinarily hard to move, And every unsold example represents a rapidly evaporating asset. Luxury buyers, keenly aware of resale values, actively avoid a car that loses value this fast, creating a vicious cycle where poor sales fuel worse depreciation. For 2026, as Mercedes clears out remaining stock and transitions away from the EQ identity, the EQS remains one of the hardest luxury EVs to sell in America. Number 1. Volkswagen ID.4. The Volkswagen ID.4 tops this list because it faced the single most damaging sales problem an EV can encounter. Dealers were literally forbidden from selling it. Volkswagen issued a stop sale order halting all sales of the ID.4 while it scrambled to address serious safety defects, including a door handle malfunction that could cause doors to open unexpectedly, and even more alarmingly, a recall of more than 43,000 vehicles over a high-voltage battery overheating and fire risk. When a manufacturer legally bars dealers from selling a car, showroom sales don't just slow, they stop entirely, leaving lots full of vehicles that couldn't be sold at any price. That's the ultimate nightmare for any dealer. Even after Volkswagen identified fixes and cautiously restarted sales, the reputational damage lingered, because buyers understandably grow wary of a vehicle associated with fire risk and doors popping open on their own. Trust, once shaken by safety recalls of this magnitude, is extraordinarily difficult to rebuild, and cautious shoppers simply steer toward rivals with cleaner records. Dealers who had inventory frozen during the stop sale bled floorplan financing costs on cars they were powerless to move, an especially painful hit. Compounding the struggle, the ID.4 already competed in a crowded compact electric SUV segment where standing out was hard even before the recalls. And now it carries baggage that newer competitors don't. For 2026, the ID.4 must overcome not just fierce competition, but a damaged reputation and buyer skepticism born from serious safety headlines. When dealers are outright prohibited from selling a car, then must coax back nervous buyers afterward, it earns the number 1 spot as the EV dealers simply can't sell. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.